Hey gang, we are in week 4 of the summer 2020 sports reporting class, and this week we're going to shift gears and talk about broadcast sports reporting. And in this week, what we're going to be focusing on is sports reporting from the studio. This would be your evening newscast where they do the sports from the desk. It would be your sports center. It would be any of the studio shows you see on ESPN or on the NFL network or MLB, whatever, wherever they're at a studio, at a desk, and they're reporting. That may be covering a game, that may be talking about upcoming events, that may be doing features, whatever they're doing, but they're in a studio, it's scripted, and they're reporting on it for you. So this week, we're going to talk about two things. Number one, we're going to be talking about how to write the script for sports reporting, the format we use, the style we use, all of those types of things in writing it. Once you get to the assignment, you're going to learn a bit about doing the 2-column format. And then we're also going to be talking about doing sports highlights this week. So you'll really get into those when we do the assignments, okay? We'll talk about those a little bit more here in just a minute. We're focusing this week, as far as our sports focus, on track and field. So you need to be looking at that one. You have a discussion board post this week, your 4th one, and on this one I want you to do a critique of a sportscast. So watch your evening news, watch ESPN, watch the NFL network, whatever, and find one of their studio shows and watch it and critique it. Looking at how they use graphics, how they bring in video, how the talent interacts with one another, those sorts of things, okay? And then you have another blog post this week. I watched the video this week dealing with advanced statistics, where they took kind of the discussion from Moneyball. Found it very interesting. It's the way a couple of these videos are working. They're on a set, and it's somebody who's coming in, and they're kind of a psychologist, and they're a scholar, and they're talking about it. So not the most exciting things in the world, but the topic's really interesting. And as a sports reporter, I think this is useful for us because we're learning another way to analyze athletes and find out who's the best and who's not so hot. So that was really interesting. Your assignments this week, I'm going to talk first about the highlight package. With this one, I've provided you with 20 clips, okay? They're all on YouTube, but there's 20 clips. I want you to pick 10 of them. You don't have to do the whole thing. I want you to pick 10. Tell me the order that you would put these clips, and then write the script to accompany it, all right? You do not have to edit the video. You don't have to download it from YouTube and edit the video into a highlight package. You can if you want to, and if you have the software to do it, knock yourself out. It might be fun practice for you to do that editing, to record your audio, to put it with it, but you don't have to. You just take those clips, put them in order, write the script, tell me how long the clip would last. That's it, okay? So that's the highlight package assignment. The sportscast assignment is where we're going to be doing our UCM Classic. This may become very popular this fall, especially if we don't have sports. Please, God, let us have sports this fall. But if we don't, we're going to have fans wanting to watch something. It's very, very popular seeing ESPN Classic and some of those types of things. So we're going to do UCM Classic. We have a number of games that have been played. I'm going to send you a link to the recap and the box score for each of those games. You don't have to put the game with it at all, but read the recap, look at the statistics, look at the example that I'm sharing with you on Blackboard, and you'll kind of get a feel for how this is going to work. It's a 1.5 to 2 minute intro going into that game, all right? You're going to do 2 of them, so you get to pick 2 that you want to use. Go find the information about it, and then you're writing the script. And you're going to write that script in a 2-column format. Tell me where you would bring in the graphic. Tell me wherein you might bring some clips of the player that you're talking about, those sorts of things. I'll take care of editing it and putting it all together, okay? But this is going to do 2 things for you. Number one, it's going to work on your writing and your style and your broadcast writing style, and that's what I'm going to be looking at, all right? I will give you some feedback on that. That assignment is due on Friday for the written part. The recordings are due by the last day of class, which is June 25th, okay? Yeah, June 25th. The recordings aren't due until then, all right? Here, I've kind of shown you one way that you can do your setup. This is a television down in my basement. I've got an HDMI cable connected to my laptop because I don't have a place in my computer or on my television for an SD card or a USB port or anything like that. So I have an HDMI hooked up to it. and you can run it this way, okay? You could just have this set up, and this is your laptop on your computer. But think about the spacing here, the aesthetic of how we're set up, the TV compared to where I'm standing in the headroom. I don't want my monitor way down here, my head way up here. So if you need to balance that out a little bit, you need to think about that, all right? I don't usually have this set down here. This is my son's trophy from when he won our fantasy football league this year. And this is a couple of books, including our textbook that I just threw up here just so it looks a little more sporty. But think about something like this for a set. You want to keep it kind of tight. And the thing is, if you send it to me and I'm like, we need to tweak this a little bit, we'll tweak it a little bit. That's okay. We can reshoot it if we need to, all right? I'd like to be able to do this from your home. It gives it a little homey feel. It's kind of indicative of what we're dealing with right now with the pandemic. Hopefully we're back on campus this semester. That's the plan as of right now. And if we want to redo it up in the Mule Skinner newsroom with the monitor up there and a teleprompter and everything, we can. But I want you to try it this way first, okay? If you have any questions, as always, shoot me an email, shoot me a line, give me a call, and we'll get that worked out, all right? One more thing, our sports reporters who are meeting with us this week, Taryn Temple from Midco SN, Katie Smith from UCM Athletics, they're both broadcast journalists. They're going to be meeting with us at 1 o'clock on Wednesday. I'll send you the Google invite, but until then, have a great week.